Okay.
So we got a juicy question.
Which is
Juicy.
again, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. All right. So the question is, should Philly have told Jared about Boston? Why or why not? Let's
Now,
hear
for
from
the
the audience.
backstory,
Yep.
Jared is Philly's kind of boyfriend who is now paralyzed and like he's been injured in an accident. He can't use his speech. He's needing to be fed and taken care of, put in the bathroom. So he's immobile. He's in a wheelchair and he needs 24/7 care. With that being said, to the audience.
So while I was watching this movie, I did feel like in the beginning, Philly was definitely hiding something from everybody, obviously. And when I saw the reasoning, the a little bit of shadiness behind it, when I saw the reasoning behind that, and when I saw Jared, it struck a nerve in my heart, because I think about what would I do in that situation if my fiance right now went through something like that. What would I do? How would I benefit from the situation? And it's really hard to think about, because I do have people who are in relationships just because of pity, and that's not something the relationship is supposed to be about. You know what I mean? So the fact that I think that Philly should have told him off the bat. I think she should have gotten herself out of the situation. I feel like if you are already feeling a different kind of emotion for somebody else, then you're not feeling the same emotions that you felt for that other person, a month or two ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what do you constitute as cheating?
I don't know if I necessarily constitute what she did as cheating. I mean, I agree she was being a little sneaky about the situation. I think anything without the other person's, knowledge, I feel like that is kind of just, if it's not cheating, it's definitely sneaky behavior that nobody should have to tolerate. Even if he is going through this situation, I understand that pity was a big reason she was staying, and she felt guilty for the situation, but I don't think you should ever stay with somebody unless you're getting something out of the relationship as well.
It's also kind of apparent because when he proposes, she runs out and goes to her car. She doesn't say yes. And then he gets hit, he gets in an accident, and it's like, oh, like, so she's technically never gave him an answer. And then when she does go to see Areana, right, it's kind of like he's like, she hasn't been here in a while. So it's almost like, I personally don't think she had any obligation to tell him, because he's not obviously able to be a partner to her. Like, she still wants to care for him. She still wants to, communicate with him, but she's in school. She's a young woman. And it's like, she obviously didn't say yes to your proposal in the first place. So it's like, why do we make it so that women have to do this? And I don't think that she owed him anything. And she went above and beyond to help him understand where she's going. Like, the heart wants what it wants. And, that's kind of Mia Mendez's way of really having that emotional pull to us and bringing our emotions, like, we were like, okay, why is she blowing off Boston when they have this chemistry? And then it's like, oh, this is a hard problem. Like, what would you do?
So how are we feeling about Rome initiating going out with Philly when they run into each other in the subway and they go on that adventure? How do we feel about that? Should she have obliged, or should she have like stood on her feet and been like, no, like, it's not happening?
First of all, I don't like when men follow me ever. Like, that first, it's like, it's intimidating as a woman when someone's following you. And so the fact that she even like gave him the time of day kind of shook me. I was like, oh snap. But as I was talking about earlier, that chemistry that you have with a person, sometimes it's just deeper than all the other things that are going on around you. And she really she made it clear that she didn't want to talk to him, and he put out that like suave. Yes.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like, why is she pulling away? Oh, I have a boyfriend. I say that to guys all the time. I do not have a boyfriend. I say that to get away. So at first I thought it was like kind of like, oh, like she just not trying to talk to him. She's, dedicated. And then when we find out like what's really going on, I was like, wow, like I don't know what I would do, man. How about from our audience?
But it's easier said than done. And it's just like, part of me, like, it was just like an emotional roller coaster watching all of that, because it was just like, evidently she wasn't happy with her situation with her boyfriend in the first place, because she wouldn't have gone on the little journey with Boston in the first place. Like, clearly there was something wrong at home, like their paradise was broken. So just like at one point I'm just like, okay, all right, like I'm feeling this, I like it, but then I'm just like, ooh. But it's just like, now you've allowed yourself to like open a can of worms, because now the tension is going to start building because you're catching feelings for Boston. And I definitely think that she should have told her boyfriend what was going on. I know that we have like the statement that like she shouldn't be obligated to, but I don't know, like I'm just thinking about myself, like I would want to know. I don't want to be out here like looking stupid. Like, you need to let me know that you caught feelings for somebody else, so that way like I can mentally prepare or do what I have to do, so that like the heartbreak won't be as bad, or we're praying that it's not going to be as bad. I really do think that she should have been more open, but it's easier said than done. You don't know what you're going to do until you're in that situation. It's tough.
And he took it hard. Her boyfriend took it hard. He was, he's nonverbal, but he was just broken and upset. And he had just proposed to her before his accident. He was just so distraught by this pain of watching the woman that he loves love someone else.
Areana, I also have a question. With the proposals and everything, a lot of women have been getting bold with telling their significant other no. So my question is, should men publicly propose to their want to be fiance? Is that a risk that they should take, or should that be done privately?
We can go to the audience first.